Mexico. Among other important discoveries, he was the first person to understand that Florida was not an island but a peninsula, and also he was the first European to see the Mississippi River. The first natives he met wore jewelry made of pure gold, and this sparked his interest in exploring the land next to the Gulf. But what he found instead of gold was much more spectacular. While exploring what is now Texas, he came across very small people that he called pygmies, while other tribes were regular-sized and others still larger. His diary reads that they reached, quote, 10 or 11 palms in height. And although at the time there were different interpretations as to how much a palm really measured, it is a fact that 11 palms amounted to more than 3 meters tall. Pineda was so impressed by these giants that he named a river after them, Rio de las Palmas, or Palms River. In 1529, a cartographer named Diego Ribero labeled it on one of his maps as Rio de Gigantes, or Giants River. Today, it is known as the Rio Grande. Judging by all of these accounts, American Aborigines were always friendly and welcoming, just as long as you didn't cross them. This is exactly what Hernando de Soto, another Spanish explorer, did in 1542, and he paid the ultimate price for that. During his exploration of Florida, Alabama, and Georgia, he came to know of the existence of an important chief named Tuscaloosa. Thinking that this important leader would have many riches, De Soto led his party to Tuscaloosa's camp. When he was taken to the chief, De Soto was astounded. Although his people were the same height as the Spaniards, Tuscaloosa was significantly bigger, a giant by De Soto's standards. He asked for supplies, and the chief agreed to give him some, but instructed the Spaniard to go get them at his fort, not far from there. The greedy De Soto then took Tuscaloosa hostage and made him lead the Spanish army to his fort at gunpoint, with the intention of pillaging it. Once there, Tuscaloosa freed himself and ordered his people to attack the Spaniards. The natives killed most of them with bow and arrow and beheaded the corpses. De Soto survived and later counterattacked, setting the fort on fire, but died anyway due to a fever shortly thereafter. After the battle, the Spanish army searched the scorched ruins of the old fort and found most of the natives dead. Among the burned corpses was the son of Tuscaloosa, but the chief himself was never found. To this day, no one is able to assert what became of the giant chief Tuscaloosa after that battle. Spanish conquistador Hernán Cortés had been more cautious when he landed in Mexico in 1519. He found himself the leader of a small group of European warriors, powerless against the mighty Aztecs, a great civilization too advanced for the time. Cortés made a treaty with the neighboring Tlaxcalans, who were bitter rivals of the Aztecs. The Spaniards lived in Tlaxcala for several months and received women to marry, food to eat, and many incredible stories. The locals claimed that the Aztecs were a powerful rival because they were protected by supernatural beings, which they believed to be gods. But the Tlaxcalans were fierce warriors who managed to destroy a race of giants that once lived there. At first, Cortés and his army laughed about this, thinking it was only fantasy. But then they showed the Spaniards a large amount of huge bones, the remains of those giants. The expedition's chronicler, Bernal Díaz del Castillo, wrote the following on his diary that night. To show us how big these giants had been, they brought us the leg bone of one, which was very thick and the height of an ordinary-sized man, and that was a leg bone from the hip to the knee. I measured myself against it, and it was as tall as I am, though I am of reasonable height. We were all astonished by the sight of these bones and felt certain